Who do you think you are? That question, who do you think you are? Sometimes we hear that in a really negative sense, but the question is actually legitimate. Who do you think you are? I'm Lisa Taylor. If you are new to me or you're new to this channel, we talk about the law of good, the law of God, divine science, scientific Christianity at this channel. But it's more than just talking about it. It's let's live it and practice it in our lives. So, who you think you are is a really important topic because when we look in, and that is part of the upcoming book, Look Up, Look In, Look Out, Three Simple Steps to a Divinely Guided Life. Look in is the second step of that. So, when you look in, what are you seeing? When you look in, who are you acknowledging that you are? Do you acknowledge that you are a reflection of the divine, that you are made in the image and likeness of God good? Or do you look in and see all the problems and all the mistakes and all the reasons why you can't? A lot of times people say, I can't. Well, we get to turn that around. We get to look in and see the reality of our identity, see the spiritual reality of our identity. There's a textbook about this science called Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by this woman, Mary Baker Eddy, written back in the 1800s, but it's very relevant today. And it was so profoundly ahead of its time that now, 150 years later, people are just starting to realize the wealth of information in this book. But one of the things she says is that infinite mind, that we represent infinite mind, the sum of all substance. Well, that's a huge statement. And if we know from the Bible, all things are possible to God, and through God we can do all things, like by leaning on God, we have the ability to achieve, to be the fullness expression of who we are. We get to be the best of us. But if we keep believing that we're less than, and we keep not knowing our true identity, then we're not going to be acting that out. And our experience is not going to reflect the divine. Our experience is going to reflect the false beliefs that the world would be dumping on you every day, saying that you can't, saying that you're stressed, saying that you have anxiety and that you have this problem and that problem. It's like, hang on, that's not my real identity. That may be what the world is trying to label me with, but that's not who I am. I may be dealing with stuff. This is not to just go, oh, no, 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 the problems don't exist. No, problems are coming up for all of us. That's the human experience. But how you identify yourself, not with the problem or as the problem, but you identify yourself as made in the image and likeness of God, strong and clear and able to lean on the divine power and express the divine power. Then when you look at problems, they look a lot smaller and you recognize that's not who I am. That's just what's coming up for me at the moment. I can deal with that when I lean on God. I can deal with that when I identify myself rightly. I can take a positive action, a clear step forward of progress when I know who I am, when I look in and I see the reality of me and I identify myself made in the image and likeness of God, that I am given the strength that I need. No problem. No problem. Then we can go forward and we can have painless progress instead of fraught progress, fraught with all sorts of things. So, anyway, the book is coming out in November. I will have a date soon, waiting for a date from the publisher. I believe it's November 18th, but I just want to confirm that. So, kind of sit in the back of your mind, think November 18th. So, we'll be doing lots of activities and things around that. So, stay tuned. But here is one little tidbit of look in and identify yourself rightly, and you're going to have a much better experience. Then when you look out on the world and your experience of the world, you're going to see it a whole lot more accurately according to spirit, not according to the material senses, which limit you and make you feel like you have lots of problems. Like, no, I want to look through the lens of spirit, and I'm going to see the unlimited nature of good that's available to me, and I'm going to walk in that direction. I want that. Okay, lots of love. See you next time.